Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. You know, today is Tuesday, and so we're always blessed to have the one and only Kendra Davies, positivity coach, stellarlifecoaching.com, on with us today. Welcome, Kendra. We're going to talk about life hacks, mind hacks. My bad, I've got life hacks on the brain. Mind hacks, but visualization. Y'all, if you have not done visualization before, if you don't know what it is, if you think it's all hokey and new age and all that, you are missing out, because it can make such a difference in calming your mind down and your mindset and reaching for the things that you want. And it's so powerful. But that's just the dumbed down version. We're going to let Kendra Davies explain it to us. What's up, Kendra?
Hi, everybody. Hello, Teddy Bear.
So good to see you. Sorry for the snafus and technology the last couple of weeks, but we are back.
We're here.
We are here. We're going to change your life. All right.
Okay.
So tell them all about you
No
a little
pressure.
bit, and then what?
It said no pressure.
No pressure whatsoever. By the way, I need to relax today, so I better be snoring in about 15 minutes. Tell them a little bit about you for people who haven't tuned in before, and then let's talk about visualization.
So my name is Kendra Davies, and I am a positive psychology practitioner and a life coach. I own Stellar Life Coaching here in Orlando, and I work with individuals, couples, executives, businesses with positive psychology, how to practice, implement, and use this powerful science to cultivate their own happiness.
Woo! I love that. You got that down to a science.
You like that?
That speech. I love it. It's your elevator speech, as we used to call it in the old days.
Yes, they still do that. You're not old.
Yeah, I love that you can get that down, because I know you're talking with passion about it and from the heart. So it's good stuff. All right, we got lots of people saying hi to you. Rose Kemp came on and said hi.
Rose.
Sarah Doyer came on. What's up, Sarah? Love her. And love you too, Rose. All right, so mind hacks visualization. I saw this come up, and you know I'm a huge fan of visualization because I got to do it in college. You know, 75 years of therapy will also help with that. Still a work in progress. But talk about what that means, because I think people hear it and they think, okay, first of all, I can't even close my eyes for a second.
Right.
They don't understand the power of it. It seems, I think, hokey and new agey is what we've heard. And people just think it's all this fake stuff, and how is that ever going to help me and impact me? So give them a little 411 on what this actually is.
Okay, so visualization has actually been studied. We actually have research studies that found the impacts of visualization are actually pretty impressive. So the study that stands out in my mind is actually I forget the university. I could probably drop a link somewhere later, but
you're good.
You're
safe. It's a safe zone here when it comes to quoting universities. So you're cool.
I'm like, anyways. So it is
university.
You can search it, yes. But there was a university who did a study on athletes and had 3 different groups. One group was going to do interval training over time to increase their hip flexor strength. Yeah. One group actually did the exercise. The second group visualized doing the exercise, but did not actually exercise. And the third group was the control group and did nothing. Yeah. Okay. So what is impressive is that for the group that actually did the exercise, they increased hip flexor strength by 28%, right? Very cool. For the group that only visualized it, they increased their hip flexor by 24%.
How much?
24.
Oh my God, this is like a dream come true conversation. I can visualize exercise? Wait.
All right. So before you get all wonky on me, all right, they were already athletes. Yes. So it wasn't that they went from 0 to 90, right?
Wasn't a middle-aged man.
I
got it. That's still amazing.
And there are other studies that have the same impact for a group of women who were going through exercise and diet and trying to change their weight. For those who visualize the process of losing weight, like overcoming the challenges of not taking the cookie, and they actually visualize themselves overcoming the obstacles that had stopped them previously, versus the group that didn't, right? they were actually 38% more successful than the group who didn't.
Unbelievable.
So the real trick and mind hack behind visualization is that the brain can't differentiate the stimulus, whether you are remembering an actual thing, experiencing an actual thing, or just thoroughly allowing yourself to experience it in your mind. Your brain can't actually differentiate between them. So when you engage in a visualization, let's say you want to visualize yourself overcoming objections at the next sales pitch that you have, or you
good one.
You want to visualize yourself, nailing that job interview, right? Overcoming your nerves before you speak publicly. You can use this as a tool, and it's kind of like, it serves a few purposes. One, when your brain is actually primed to experience stress, right? So in other words, if I know that I'm going to audition for a play, I can visualize myself auditioning. I can imagine the nerves I'm going to feel. I know what it feels like in my body, right? I'm going to get all shaky. My voice always sounds like I'm about to cry when I get really nervous. So I visualize myself getting on the stage. I imagine the light. I imagine the room. I imagine like the fear, the self-judgment, all the things that I'm going to think of. But then I imagine and visualize myself overcoming it and delivering this monologue or whatever I'm doing for my audition successfully, where I remember the words, right? And I play it all the way through. What happens is that there's studies that actually show that the level of cortisol that we release in our brains, right, in the moment of the actual event is decreased when we visualize it before. Meaning that you'll still get nervous, you'll still have the experience, but you are not going to be flooded and completely hijacked and like run down by this experience.
Love it.
Right? So it's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
Powerful.
So, is it new agey? It's probably new agey to people because they're used to hearing it with like, visualize your abundance, like just imagine yourself getting the car. And
you have $1 million.
Oh, I'm concentrating.
Woo, it's right there in the bank. Yes, I think you're exactly right. That's what people think. It's this fake, medicine doctor kind of insanity, the traveling medicine man kind of stuff. And it's not. I can tell you, it has so many uses in your world, personally and professionally. The things that you can do with it are just, it's astronomical, really.
And one of the ways that I use visualization frequently, if you've ever worked with me, if you've ever done any sort of workshop or retreat with me, you know that I use visualization often. And it is to conjure emotional experience is usually how I use it.
Love it.
For mass use, and what I want to do today is I want to do an exercise for exploring positive emotion, right? Because if we remember from any of our talks or through any of our shows together, positivity, optimism, and positive emotions actually require effort for us. As human beings, we don't necessarily have a need for positive emotion, right? So negative emotions serve to tell us when we're in danger, when we're going to die, when we're starving, when we're not going to be able to find water. Whereas positive emotions is basically like, so like we've got food and shelter. Cool. Right? So I use this visualization, which is going to be on joy. Yes.
Oh, you didn't tell me what we were doing today. I love it.
Surprise. So, and the reason why I want to start with joy is, one, because positivity is something that requires effort, concentrated and very specific effort. And also because when we talk about emotional intelligence, one of the key ways to grow your emotional intelligence is to actually map out what happens in your body when you experience an emotion. So as part of growing my emotional intelligence, I picked a new emotion from like the feelings list every day, and I would meditate and visualize what that experience feels like. Could I actually conjure a memory that I could associate with that feeling, right? And if I didn't, then I would read the definition and I would meditate and visualize that and then imagine the situation.
Wow.
And what this allows you to do is now you expand your vocabulary of emotions. So when you get upset, you're not just like, I'm angry. And people are like, what? Why? You can say things like, I feel rejected. You could say, I feel, this messes with my sense of injustice, right? Like you can use language that actually honors the breadth and depth of an emotional experience.
Love it. All right. So visualize us into our positivity, because honestly, guys, what she's talking about, if you let yourself go for a little bit, you will absolutely feel it. Even if it's just this little short show, I'm telling you what, if you let it, you got to let it though. You have to be open to it. So I'm going to let the guru take over.
All right. Okay. So we're going to...
Am I going to make you front and center, or do you want me on here?
I want people to see you, and also I need accountability so you don't fall asleep.
You are not wrong on that. Okay.
All right. So this is going to be short. It's only going to be a few minutes. So wherever you are, right? If you're in the car, if you're in the kitchen, if you're at the Citrus Club, just go ahead, have a seat, get comfortable. Yeah. Keep your feet flat.
People always say that. Why?
It's just a grounding technique, right? You keep your feet flat on the earth if you're sitting in a chair. If you're not sitting in a chair, if you're sitting on the floor, just be mindful of where your body is touching the ground. It's just a grounding technique.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. So you can just have your hands anywhere that's comfortable, and then close your eyes. And we're going to start with 3 deep breaths, going 6 seconds in and 6 seconds out, starting now. Breathing in and out and in and out. And one more time in. And at the top of this breath, I want you to hold it for just a few more seconds. I want you to open your mouth, relaxing your jaw, and then I want you to sigh on the out. Go back to breathing normal, however you are comfortable. If you're not comfortable keeping your eyes closed, or if you're driving, find a fixed spot to focus on. Be mindful of the way that your body feels. Notice any sensations or sounds around you. Really allow your body to settle into this moment and hear my voice. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to think about a moment where you felt complete and total joy. Unadulterated joy. Holy shit, this is my life. Joy. And if you don't have a moment of sheer joy to consider, then maybe think of something that you are grateful for. A moment of gratitude at any point in time in your life. And once you have that joyous moment or that moment of gratitude, I want you to allow yourself to really be back in that moment. Where were you? Who were you with? Get as granular and as detailed as possible. What were you wearing? Was your hair different then? Consider the people you might be with. What are they wearing? What sounds can you hear? What buildings do you see? What landmarks are around you? For just a moment, I want you to focus on your feet in this moment, wherever they might be. Maybe they're in the sand, in the grass, in your favorite pair of high heels. Just notice your feet. Really ground yourself into the moment. And then let your awareness come up from your feet, traveling up your legs. Be mindful of the way joy feels in your body. Drawing your attention up to your torso, your belly. If you want to, you can place a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly. Be mindful of your breath. Connect to the experience. Be mindful of how joy feels in your heart. And now let your eyes, in your mind's eye, see what is going on around you. In as much detail as possible. Allow yourself to relive the moment. Was there laughter? Was it a simple and quiet moment of observation? And now I want you to think about two things that had to happen in order for that moment to be possible. Two things that had to happen in order for that moment to be possible. Maybe you had to meet your partner. Maybe you had to take a risk. Maybe you had to be vulnerable. Maybe you had to ask a question. Maybe someone else had to be incredibly, ridiculously generous to you. Two things that had to happen in order for that moment to be possible. Now I want you to think of a word, one word that you can associate with this memory. Maybe it's love, family, vacation, hope, dream. Just one word that you can associate with that sensation of joy. coming back into your body. Notice how joy feels. Notice how it changes your perception of everything around you. Notice how simple things seem special. A look, a greeting, a hand, sunshine through tree branches, the laughter of children. How extraordinary does joy make your life in that moment? Go ahead and take another deep breath, 6 seconds in. Exhale, 6 seconds out. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring your awareness back to the room. If you're Ted Bogert, wake up.
Ted Bogert's here.
And welcome.
I'm back.
Aw, Papa Bear.
Yes, Wow, amazing. I love that.
How do you feel?
Great. I tend to get emotional in those because, those of us, well, all of us are doing this. We're running 1 million miles a minute and we don't allow ourselves a minute to breathe. And sometimes even just that is overwhelmingly emotional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it. I went to I have many things that bring me joy, but my children. So I went to my daughter's birth and just thought about all of that. It just, you can't see me, but you can see my eyes are watery. You let yourself go in those moments, and that's where you get the biggest growth. My opinion. So if you let yourself go, you're going to get so much out of it. And so I just let myself go back to that. I could feel myself. You can't see it, but I can't do it. The tears on this eye, and so I just thought, this is so beautiful, just to be able to slow down and focus on that. And then as you're coming out of it, I just felt peaceful. My word was healing, because that's how I always think of my children. And so I was like, okay. And I just was peaceful, very peaceful.
Beautiful.
It was excellent.
And, these opportunities and visualizations are things that we can do anytime. That word that you've associated, you don't have to actually take your deep breaths, really quiet down and get into it. You can have this word association. So you need to access that joy in a moment. You can use the word to bring yourself into that sensation, into that experience in your body.
Yeah, and apparently I need, since I'm not an athlete and apparently can't visualize that either, I need help with the deep breaths, because I've forgotten what that's like. I'm like, oh God, I'm getting lightheaded. I might pass out. I have to tell you, there was a part, I almost laughed, because when you said the 2 things that made this happen, I thought, well, Stacey and I had to have sex.
Yeah.
And so I almost burst out laughing in the middle of it. Sarah says her word was fulfillment. I love that. You definitely had people following and doing this today. But yeah, I love it. And I guess that's the great thing. There's no right or wrong way to respond. It's allowing yourself to have those responses that's so powerful. And the more that you allow it, the more that you'll get out of it each time that you do it. My opinion.
100%. Every time. And there's power in practice. So the more you do it, the more you utilize it, the more you drop in, the Headspace, Insight Timer. There's apps for meditation and visualization are more guided and more direct. So even if you like, you know, I really want to practice this. This sounds really awesome. It felt really great. I want to do it again. But, you know, where's Kendra? You don't have to. You don't have to use me. You can go into these apps and you can search for specific kinds of visualization or guided meditations, things that'll really quiet the mind and walk you through an experience. So
I like that Rose shared full circle and owl. Listen, this is the great thing about visualizations is that your body's responding to something and you're allowing it to give you the message, in my opinion, that you need to be hearing that maybe you haven't been paying attention to. And that's why being able to slow down for a little bit, take those breaths and really focus on something is powerful, not just about the experience you're having, but the overall impact it has on your peripheral, outside, soulful, human vision of things.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I often focus on when I do joy and gratitude is my son, who, by the grace of God, still thinks I'm cool and loves to snuggle me. He'll fall asleep with me, in bed. And after he's asleep, and he's been out for a while, out of nowhere, he'll just reach over and grab a hold of my arm.
Yeah.
And I literally just focus on the sensation of his little hand on my wrist. And like, I could cry right now because I've gone to the moment and I've seen it and I have felt it so many times that, you know, insane. And we're always, this is a way to allow yourself to just remember, like, I'm loved. I'm grateful. I have an abundance of opportunity here within myself. Like, even if the outside is crazy and it doesn't look like it, it's here. It's accessible. It's been done. You can go back. You can bring it to the present.
So much power in that. All right, Kendra, tell us where they can find you. Don't you want to do that on a regular basis and move your business and your personal life forward? That's my plug for Kendra Davies, Stellar Life Coaching. How can they reach you?
So you guys can obviously find me on Facebook. Ted tags me in everything. You can send me a DM. You can find me on Instagram at Stellar Coach. You can also visit stellarlife.com. All of my online courses, my retreats, all the information is there. The phone number on my website, you can text directly if you have questions. You know, if you want me to send you those apps I've mentioned, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out.
All right. That was amazing. I feel I'm calm, not asleep. I'm calm, peaceful. All right, Kendra, thank you. Love you and appreciate you guys. Reach out to Kendra anytime. I tag her and everything, but you can still go to stellarlifecoaching.com and find her. That was awesome. Perfect. Perfect way to end this Gratitude Tuesday. Thank you, honey. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
all right,
guys.
We'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.